My name is Jeremy Gragert. I'm running for District 3 for Eau Claire City Council. And that area of town includes the 3rd Ward over by State Street by UW Eau Claire. It includes wards 20 and 24 on the UW Eau Claire campus. Includes wards 21 and 17 over in Putnam Heights and over by the soccer parks. And then Ward 30 on the East Side Hill by Memorial and Regis High School. I decided to run for City Council after well, a lot of people have been asking me if I would consider it. So I have been involved in local topics of concern to me and to my neighbors. I've served on my steering committee for the 3rd Ward Neighborhood Association. I was a UW Eau Claire student on the Student Senate back almost 13, 14 years ago. And I started getting it more involved in the community as a college student. But I really kind of fell in love with Eau Claire and found a lot of opportunities to be involved as a young person and as someone who can help make a difference in the community. And the city of Eau Claire is a great, through municipal government, is a great way to make a difference. We've seen over the last 35 years the emergence of a bike trail system and a walking trail system and the redevelopment of our waterfronts and our downtown. And I was excited to be a part of that. And I've worked for Wisconsin Bicycle Federation to kind of keep pushing for more bike and pedestrian friendly streets. And it was served on the Downtown Eau Claire Incorporated board over 10 years ago to pass basic reforms that really kind of helped bring our downtown back. We allowed outdoor dining, which doesn't seem like a radical concept today, but 12 years ago it was not allowed to have for a restaurant to have outdoor dining. So we also added bike racks downtown. We created some grant programs to revitalize and build loft apartments and above businesses. And so I think our downtown is like a success story that I'm really proud to have been involved with. And I think our neighborhoods, which I would be representing a variety of different neighborhoods, really need that kind of attention too, and make sure that we're involving folks in decisions that affect neighborhoods as well. That could be through street projects and making sure that our streets are more inclusive to all road users. We have the State Street Hill coming up as a reconstruction project in 2019. And so I want to make sure that people have a voice in these big decisions. I feel that our council and our city could do a lot more to vote in favor of having public meetings and err on the side of public involvement and making sure that folks have a voice. As a citizen who's been involved for so long, I know where the barriers are, and I feel that I can do the kind of outreach that's necessary to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. I have a lot of experience with different city commissions and committees. I helped start the Sustainability Advisory Committee and kind of built the grassroots support for that to work on environmental issues. I've been involved in the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee. I've served on the Comprehensive Plan Committee. And I think that we have this comprehensive plan that we can't just let it sit on a shelf. We need to make sure that we're engaging with the future of our city through that plan and making sure that folks are involved in advancing the great ideas that are in there. I currently work for Clean Wisconsin on renewable energy with about 30 nonprofits around the state. And I think in terms of something that we can do as a community together is really move toward renewable energy, and that's going to be a big priority of mine coming up. And I think a lot of people feel like Wisconsin is kind of behind, and maybe Eau Claire can lead the way in the state. So that's a little bit about why I'm running, and I think with April 3rd coming up, this will actually be the first time since 2005 that this District 3 seat has actually had 2 names on the ballot for people to choose from, and I decided to give people a choice this year. And it's not the easy path, but I think democracy needs needs a little a kick to keep going and to make sure our city is healthy. So thanks a lot. Well, I think some of the reforms that we need in our city come down to allowing for public involvement in more different types of venues, different ways, making sure we have public input on as many aspects of our decisions as possible. So the city budget is a process that takes about 9 months. It's an annual budget, and there's a public hearing the night before the vote. And so after all these 9 months of the staff and city council largely hashing out the priorities of the city, that the public is not particularly involved and doesn't have many opportunities. So one way to reform the city is to make sure that that people have a voice in our budget, which is over $100 million a year. I think other ways we could look at our public transit system and look at the way we prioritize that. Out of this last budget, there was a vote to increase bus fares, and even though the Transit Commission, the folks that are most connected to our bus system and many of them are riders of our bus system, were against it. And we found that it was hard for people to have a voice in the city budget process that ultimately increased bus fares. And we should really be looking at expanding our bus systems, considering it's been 20 years since it has had any major improvements. And I'm a bus rider. I actually live in Eau Claire without a car, so I understand a lot of the issues and the way we can make our city better for people, for all people who maybe children that can't drive, for older folks who maybe can't drive anymore, and or people that can't afford a car. We need to make sure that we keep issues of poverty also under our purview. I've been told by city folks here or there, including some council members, that poverty is not an issue that the city council should be working on, or that the city has purview over. And I disagree. I think the city can do things that help everybody. And I think the business community has a role to play too. And I think having the city work with the private sector on different solutions is good too. Kind of going back to public transit, where there are some communities that have actually gotten contributions from the private sector in order to cover bus fares, for example, so that it's even more affordable for riders and for people to get to work, people to get to school, and it reduces some of the parking congestion. And obviously our downtown is coming back. In other parts of our city, we have some corridors that are very busy, like State Street and Harding Avenue Hill, and if we can relieve some of that pressure through transit and through bikeways and better pedestrian connections, then we really reduce some of the conflicts in our community, and we make more welcoming neighborhoods and places that are safe and comfortable for everybody. So those are some of the ways I think we can do better as a city. I think we're doing really well, but I think we can't take our eyes off the prize, I guess you could say, where we need to have leaders that are willing to step up, and we need them to listen to all the other great ideas that are out there. They could be coming from someone living in the neighborhood, or it could be coming from another city staff person. Maybe a bus driver has a good idea. We should be listening, and we should consider all the resources we have, and the resources that we have are a lot of really smart people in this community that can help bring ideas forward and really push to make them successful. So the best way to find me is to go to gragertforcitycouncil.com. So I do have a website. I also have a Facebook page, so it's facebook.com/GragertForCityCouncil. And then I have an email address, gragertforcitycouncil@gmail.com. And you spell Gragert, Gragert, And again, I'm Jeremy Gragert, running for the District 3 City Council seat in Eau Claire. Would love to earn your vote on April 3rd.